Hi guys, welcome to another video from Armies of Exigo, and this time we'll take a look on a 1v1 game on Inner Sanctum between White Defender and Pepsi. So let's just unpause this. White Defender spawned in the top left corner of the map with the race of Beast and the Scent color, and then we have Pepsi in the top right corner of the map with the Empire race and of course the yellow color. Pretty standard for both players, so we'll see how they manage in this game to set up their base. For now we see early stables from White Defender. That's pretty unusual because of course the Boron is not really needed yet, and also usually want to start with your arena at the same time so you can get the warrior out right with the Boron. But maybe he has some secret plans, we will see. Pepsi is going for barracks a little bit later than the stables there, but also pretty early. Doesn't seem like he wants to like overgather in the beginning for him to place maybe 2 barracks at once later on. I think he will rather go for maybe a farm here, and actually sorry, he made a farm in the back. Okay, so we'll see what he sets up here, but I'm expecting some tower really early on and then maybe expansion. He might still place the second barracks there or a farm, or just stay here with that one building and tower hidden behind that. White Defender is now also making his arena. Boron is also in production, and unfortunately he's not producing minions now. That's a huge mistake because he's wasting lots of uptime there. Losing some economy in the beginning, giving Pepsi unnecessary advantage. As you can see here at 11, now he's on 13 already. He's just definitely way ahead. Of course, already producing his first swordsman. Peasant will be now finished as well, and he's also building the tower. But for now staying only on one farm, so if he makes second barracks he will definitely quickly need to also get some extra population there. But now we see actually White Defender going for a scout. I think that was the minion that finished the arena here, and he's going for that really quickly. And we also see the goblin hut here, so I mean by that the Boron was even less needed because he is not even making any warriors, so he did not need as early population. But I mean he is totally fine now. He's going for pure goblins, not a single warrior. This tower got damaged a little bit, but just 16 damage, nothing too crazy. And now Pepsi is setting up his second barracks. He will also chase down this minion while sending another swordsman to the enemy base for scouting. White Defender kinda gave off the position of his base by walking to the enemy base this quickly with a minion from this side. So kinda made sense for Pepsi to go here and quickly scout this. But seems like White Defender has a hold position Boron here, so no one can enter in there. Yeah, he's also still kinda kiting here with this minion, even though now actually he went here. He should be able to survive there for quite some time. And now he actually made one warrior and forced the swordsman away, so that was really good. Unfortunately there is the idle minion for like already 10 seconds. Once again some loss of resources there. These stables definitely needed to be repaired. These have free repairs, so you always want to do that. And he also started gathering some wood and gems now, which we don't see from Pepsi yet. He's gathering wood but no gems peasants yet. Maybe he's getting a little bit distracted by this, but actually looks like White Defender is going for expansion. He has the resources for it, not producing anything. That seems like a really risky move, but I guess he's trying to keep the enemy occupied here with this minion. And the expansion was actually really placed down there, but looks like Pepsi will probably go for the same. So expansion basically at the exact same time, placed down by both players. Pepsi definitely has better defense now because he has a tower, but White Defender has a little bit better infrastructure. Even though both players have 2 production buildings, the White Defender can produce 2 different units, so that's a small advantage. Population kinda balanced, Pepsi a little bit ahead, but not by much. But White Defender has the extra gems now, so that will be really useful. Pepsi with humans that are usually really dependent on gems. He's totally neglecting this for now, so that might prove to be a problem later, we will see. White Defender is struggling with wood a little bit, only 2 minions there, not producing any new ones, now 1 okay, but definitely he might have problems with this. And now Pepsi finally starting with his gems as well. Expansion of Beast should be finished first, because it has 10-second lower build time, plus he plays it a little bit sooner. So I think maybe like 15 or 20 seconds earlier he should have the stronghold ready. The question is if he will have enough workers for that, because as you can see Pepsi is still producing more peasants, preparing at least few more here to probably send to the expansion. Also now making a blacksmith and tier 2 and another farm, while White Defender maybe made few minions, but now he's not producing anymore. He's actually going for Harpy Nest, which is smart. That's for scouting, really good. I would expect Pepsi to also place down his Elven Sanctuary to create a Phoenix for the same purposes, but that's not really happening for now. Farm is being finished, but yeah, he's definitely struggling with population a little bit. As you can see, White Defender has like 60 population available there. He made 4 Borons, still didn't repair the Sables, might prove to be a problem later. But his expansion is finished, once again not producing there, still 0 wood. Lots of problems here, but he has the gem advantage and he doesn't have to worry about population for a while, which is something Pepsi now also kinda catched up with the new farm. In terms of expansion, he has 2 workers here, and White Defender actually has way more. He has 6, so a really good job there by White Defender, preparing for the expansion, and he still seems to have enough minions in his main base. Now also going for Weapon Master to catch up on the blacksmith we saw from Pepsi, and we see actually a temple, so still no 11th century. I guess he doesn't really expect any air from Beast, which is kinda understandable. It usually doesn't happen, but you still might want to at least make that one Phoenix for scouting. So for now it really seems like he wants to go pure swordsman, maybe add few Alpha Rangers, and then just add some priests to it. Also going for trailblazing and advanced barracks, creating more peasants in both main buildings and getting some upgrades in the blacksmith. White Defender is accumulating more Goblin Riders now, making his first Harpy for scouting as well. 1 minion going on the other side of the map, potentially for some secret expansion, but Pepsi is preparing for a push. I don't think he can push through these units, but keep in mind that White Defender didn't make a tower, so there is no totem to help with the defense. Now finally also Dark Elder to unlock some better units. We see Confusion being researched. 2 minions here already on gems in the expansion as well, and Pepsi is trying to go for the push here, but I think he will quickly turn around, especially without the priests. He doesn't have much chance here, he didn't even bring his Elf Rangers with him. And White Defender nicely going through to the narrow pass here, where of course if the swordsman will be stuck at one small space, the AoE damage will be even stronger. Now he retreated really far away, but not sure what's the idea behind that. Maybe he wants to hide his army for some time so the enemy cannot see it, but we see actually White Defender placing an expansion down here. Also his Harpy is scouting here, and unless Pepsi starts scouting the whole map, or at least gets his Phoenix, he will have big problems actually finding that. And I actually really was confident that one of these buildings would be the 11th century, but it's actually just 3 more farms. Looks like he doesn't, actually he's also getting improved farming, but still he doesn't want to get any Phoenixes. Both players are getting full gems on both bases. Gold also seems to be fully working for both of them. Another upgrade for the swordsman here. They are already 1-0, archers 0-0, and also no upgrades for White Defender except the superior boomerang there. But now he's also getting sharp blade for 1 extra damage, and bestiary together with lizard fortress. So both buildings here, still keeping 1 Boron at home for blocking here. And also another Boron here with a Goblin Hunter, and he's going for a small push. He was checking here. Of course, the main expansion he should probably check is this one, but his Harpy is already on the way, checking all the expansions around the map, so now he has definitely better map awareness, I would even say map control, while also having soon some economical advantage. Perhaps he has 0 information about what's happening around the map. We still don't see the 11th century, now he's going for a castle. I think he wants to get maybe quick mages or something like that. But he also doesn't have any towers anywhere on defense. He has only like 5 rangers, so any air attack would be actually really devastating to him. But he's just risking it. Now we'll see the Harpy here. I think this might alert him. If Pepsi sees the Harpy, which I think he will definitely see, it will probably make him realize that he might want to do some air, but we will see. He's making 2 more barracks for now, just for faster production. Also he has double advanced barracks now, and he's getting the precision archery for increased range on Elven Rangers. Also he's setting up 3 towers here for an expansion. He's doing really safe approach, which sometimes can pay off, but of course if the enemy already has an expansion somewhere, it's a bit of a problem. White Defender is not producing minions here right now, but that might not be that big of a problem. But Pepsi is definitely 17 population ahead now, and he is going for a push. White Defender is once again sitting on some resources that he's not spending too effectively, so that might prove to be a problem. He has a decent army, 1 troll, 1 strider, 1 Harpy at home. He's producing a Wyvern now, and a second troll together with Acid Breath. That's really expensive, 200 gems, and it's just some extra damage for Wyverns that he doesn't even have yet. He will have 1, so that's really just waste of resources. But yeah, he actually kind of catched up on the population there. He just needs to finish all of these units that he queued up. Then he might have a chance. Of course, the Wyverns would be really good to kill the priests there. That would be especially effective, but unfortunately he's really out of position, not grouped up at all. I really like that he's retreating to this narrow passage. That will give him a huge advantage. Basically unpushable now for the human army, unless he can destroy the stables that White Defender didn't repair before. So this might prove to be a big problem. Also, he's losing his arena. He should now bring some minions to start repairing that. Even though the position is really good for him, there is still a huge backline of the human, and now he broke through the stables. And I'm afraid he will heavily surround the beast army here. But now finally the Wyverns joining, going immediately for the priest. As you can see, he has some focus targeting there, so really good. Also tanking some damage from the archers, giving his ground army a little bit more chance. The human is continuing his push, but there is a strider. He cannot kill him at all since he doesn't have phoenixes or dryads. So no way of actually spotting that. This shell is unfortunately idle. It should have been at least stone form or just retreat a little bit sooner. It's not looking good at all, but the Wyverns could still do some damage. There's also the strider, just 4 units that cannot be really killed by... Actually one of them died, but only the Elf Rangers can target the Wyverns. Strider can be only targeted when moving, so Pepsi actually decided to retreat. I think he could have definitely, of course, continued his push a little bit here, but since he cannot really fight the Wyverns, he would probably just lose everything there, so seems like a smart decision. Now he's finally going for the Elven Sanctuary, but it's just so late. He also made a Circle of Vengeance, so it seems like he wanted to go for Knights, but he didn't even start making any towers when he saw the Wyverns. He's actually making Knights. He's not even making Elf Rangers to fight with this. He's just gonna constantly now get harassed by the Wyverns, and I don't think he will be able to recover from that. If White Defender is careful enough, he can just keep him on the back foot, let's say. But also White Defender doesn't have any population, and he lost the stables. He's rebuilding them here, but he just doesn't have any Borons now to make new units. And he's also sitting on lots of resources. So this might be a bit of a problem. The army of Pepsi is now really huge. The only problem for him is that he can't really fight these Wyverns. And if this Elven Sanctuary gets destroyed, which it should, of course, killing Elf Rangers is also nice, but I think this should be the main focus now, then Pepsi might have some serious problems. There is this one tower, definitely needs to stay away from that. This expansion is also getting set up, there is 3 towers there. He invested so much into defense of an expansion that it's not even working yet, and totally neglected any defense of his main base, so this was a huge mistake. Of course, now there is already lots of Elf Rangers also utilizing the Temple Heal. This was definitely too risky play by White Defender. He needs to quickly capitalize on the population mainly. He's not producing so many resources, he doesn't have population really, and he's not producing anything there. Really needs to start working on this, maybe set up even more expansions, because his base will quickly fall if this attacks, which it will soon. And now, yeah, actually looks like Pepsi managed to defend this. White Defender could still, of course, attack from here across this cliff. Start harassing these peasants. Yeah, he still has the range, I mean, flying units advantage, so he should definitely utilize that. But the problem is that even though this cannot attack the Wyverns, for the Wyverns to actually kill these knights, it will take forever. So this is a big problem. I think his whole base will just fall. Also, it's only 3 Wyverns. I'm really not sure why Pepsi is retreating now. He could easily destroy all of these minions here, and they couldn't do anything. But Phoenix is now coming. He will at least scout the Strider, also the Elf Rangers. Yeah, I mean, he probably wanted to wait for his whole army to make the push even stronger. Now, of course, White Defender will be even more behind. But he really has the resources. Yeah, if he made more production buildings, and he was actually producing in all the buildings all the time, because now he has 3 idle lizard fortresses, he could have already like maybe 2 or 3 times more Wyverns, and that would be still a huge problem for Pepsi, because he doesn't have as much anti-air. But now, of course, White Defender will lose this base. He has a Warlock here, but I don't think he has Poison Fog yet. Yeah, that's being researched. He needs like 20 more seconds there, or 15. So this whole base got slaughtered. He has an expansion here, but Pepsi now also has this expansion, so not looking too good. Actually, White Defender going for another base. The problem is that he has his whole infrastructure here. He could have made also some totems here with all the resources he has, but now he doesn't have any wood. So he definitely needs to focus on that. There is lots of idle minions here that are not doing anything because he ran out of gold. Those should be already gathering the wood there. Army of Pepsi is actually totally leaving this, which is the main thing he should be harassing, and he's just going somewhere else. And White Defender going for a counter push, definitely a smart choice. We'll see how Pepsi will react to that. Of course, he needs to mainly kill all the peasants here. That's the main income right now. By this, he could actually stop the whole income of Pepsi. The question is if he can actually finish the buildings before Pepsi destroys all the bases of White Defender, because of course he will have way better siege damage. Now, nice poison fog, but it won't do much. Knights don't really care about that. There's still some priests, yeah. Elf Rangers take some damage from it, of course the casters as well, but swordsmen don't care too much and knights don't care at all. The AFK minions are still here. We see some destroyment of barracks. Still the economy should be the main point here, plus of course he needs to stop the towers. Let's actually unzoom a little bit so we see a little bit more. Borons will also die now, so no more units for White Defender now. He still has so many resources. He's making more bases, but the infrastructure should be already building here. Maybe even just scattered around the map. He still has some buildings that are unlocking other buildings, so he should definitely utilize that. Fortunately he went here, but there are the Elf Rangers, nicely stopping the Wyverns that are not targeting them at all. Perhaps he should also target this slow Wyvern now, but I guess he's mainly focusing now on his attack to quickly destroy this, scout the other bases. Yeah, nice scout here. Actually, infrastructure is being done here now. Wyverns definitely don't have a chance against so many archers. He kinda stopped the income here, but there is still this base fully working. Protected by 3 towers, but not really against air harassment from these trees, so this could also really easily be harassed before. Still 3 more Wyverns fighting here, but that's like all White Defender has remaining. The base, I mean the army of Pepsi is really huge. There is also a hench, not sure what that was for, but maybe he just wants to spam some trolls now since he's going beastries. Or he wants to go manticores, but he's not researching anything in that, he's still struggling with wood. This base got already scouted, so that he will get killed. This one is finished, but he's not really gathering there. He's not really gathering anywhere now, he brought everything to wood. Farm being built, yeah, perhaps he's struggling with food a little bit. He lost some infrastructure, but overall the majority of his base is still standing. Knights quickly coming for the expansion here. And he's going for ogres actually. I mean, yeah, ogres are not bad against this necessarily, but there is too many elf rangers. They will just focus fire the ogres one by one and they will just get one-shotted. Plus the knights with prayer and some buffs, heals, whatever, can also survive for some time. Yeah, he also has the auras there. So, of course, like 15 or 30 ogres would probably deal with that, but if he creates 5 ogres here, it won't really solve the problem. But yeah, now we spent all the resources anyways, so this is obviously GG. Perhaps not really expanding behind this, but he needs to mainly revitalize his main base economy, so for now he's mainly focusing on that, maybe making some more units. We'll see if the ogres will just go there, regrouping a little bit. Smart move, maybe you can one-shot some priests here, you'll see, but as I said, if first level perhaps he can kite it. I think elf rangers are maybe faster than ogres, not sure. But mainly he can just focus fire down the ogres, so we'll see that. Okay. I mean, Pierce is only 50%, so it's not as strong. Also, perhaps he doesn't have any upgrades, only 1 damage upgrade. He doesn't have the fire arrows. I think with that it will be much stronger, but actually okay. Against elf rangers, if not too many upgrades, the ogres are pretty effective. But of course the knights will deal with them. But it was more effective than I thought. He definitely got at least a few kills there. One more ogre here. Probably won't happen. A duel here between a knight and ogre, but might be fun. He can still cast the ability here, yeah? At least 1 kill. I like this game more than the tournament one for sure. Yeah, that's kinda a pattern we see a lot, that many players are complaining, or not complaining, but saying that they play waivers during tournaments than just in casual games. But I guess that's just kinda how it works. Yeah, there is some form of stress, no matter what, for everyone, and that just by default makes you play a little bit worse. I maybe potentially actually play a little bit better in tournaments, because if I'm not in a tournament I don't try that much. I just kinda fool around with some troll strategies, while in tournaments I actually take it a little bit more seriously, but of course, yeah, it still makes you a little bit worse, and also during tournaments I usually commentate while playing, so that definitely decreases your skill level by like 10% at least, or it depends how much you practice it, but even though I practice it a lot, it still definitely takes some attention from the game if I need to commentate during that as well. But yeah, let's check the results. 25 minutes, 5 seconds. Pretty decent amount of time for a game. A little bit longer than usual. I think the average is like 15 minutes. In kills here, we have definitely more units for Pepsi. Also a little bit more kills and less losses, but it's not that big of a difference if we take into consideration how much of a bigger army Pepsi had. So I definitely really was betting on his army composition rather, which was the swap to air, just 19 largest army against 60, half experience, 3 less researches, a little bit less constructed buildings, but not that big of a difference. Empire usually has way more, but he did certainly 4 buildings and also had less researches, but of course now Pepsi was still gathering while my defender was already almost dead. So you would need to see like a timeline to actually compare that. My defender actually had more gems and more wood, even though he was struggling with the wood, but he was building a lot. And the gems, yeah, he started a little bit sooner. Also he had the third base sooner, so overall really well played. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this game, guys, and I will see you in the next one, so take care, guys.